a spiritual teacher who's teaching you the truth, who are they?
Buddha.
So that's what the Buddhas do. And they'll go, no, they couldn't be the Buddha. They're too ordinary looking to be the Buddha. And then the texts are very, very clear on that. Well, you know, what did you think? How else would Buddhas effectively teach you if they didn't look ordinary? See, what do you want them to be like? You want them to radiate and, you know, like float off the ground and stuff like that? And, you know, it would just be like a, you know, a circus for you then. It'd just be like a cartoon show. Like, oh, my teacher's a cartoon character. He's floating around, you know. It's like Porky Pig or something like that. That's how we would treat him. It's just like, or we would be like Arjuna in the 11th chapter, which is just like totally dumbfounded. You know, when he sees the true form of his teachers, you know, and that's not helpful either. To have somebody like, you know, whose eyeballs are spinning around their head and smoke's coming out of the, you know, that's not really helpful. They don't learn that way, you see. You know, it can be helpful sometimes, but for the long run, it's better to just have like the, you know, the blue guy right in front of you, see. Although that blue thing, like, it's always little. Anyway. So you know, well, and then here's another aspect to this, okay? These are all proofs of why your spiritual teacher is the Buddha. How do you know what a Buddha looks like? You see, I mean, isn't it a little arrogant when you start to think about it, to say, well, I think that this person couldn't be, this teacher couldn't be a Buddha, my teacher could not be a Buddha, because I know what Buddhas look like. Do you really? Have you seen, you know, have you been up to like a Buddha paradise and then, you know, had like the big conference of like all the guises that Buddhists can take, and that you have figured out that this one isn't one of those. This guy's isn't one of those possible ones. And you know, furthermore, like, what do you think? The Buddhas are limited? An enlightened being is limited in the way they think? So they have to come as a monk or a nun or a Tibetan or an Indian or a man or a woman, or a human or an animal. They couldn't come as an animal, maybe? See, what do we think? It's a little arrogant to think that we know what Buddhas look like. Okay? So Arjuna sort of realizes eventually, in the course of the Bhagavad Gita, who his teacher really is. And it's important for us to realize this too. Here's the first verse. When whatever an exceptional person does, exceptional, shrestha means like amazing. Whatever an exceptional person does, other folks do too. The whole world tries to measure up to the standard that one sets. The standard, pramana, for those of you who care. Pramana, what's pramana mean? Valid perception can mean valid perception. So, you know, the whole world tries to measure up the pramana to the standard, to the pramana, to the valid perception of that one that really, who is the person of valid perception, who is the being of valid perception. Remember from the ACI courses? Who is a being of valid perception, a being who cannot lie. See, that's a Buddha. See, so Krishna's talking about himself here, and he's talking about about the divine, about the teacher, about the guru, and that's the exceptional person here. An exceptional person is somebody who other people should imitate. See, other people should imitate. So that's the purpose also of finding a teacher. There's two elements here to what they call guru yoga: finding a teacher and learning how to be like the teacher. First, you got to find a teacher, and your teacher is for you individually. You see, there's no standard issue gurus. See, like, you know, you don't go to Gurus R Us and pick out the, you know, the blonde model, or, you know, like that. Your guru comes in the form perfect for you, and that one, you have to find that one. See, you have to find that one. It should be your life's quest to find the guru. If you haven't found one already, it should be your life's quest, because until then, you're just helpless. You don't know how to live. See, you're just flailing around. And, you know, the reason why you're not looking, if you're not looking, is you don't feel that yet. You don't feel helpless yet. You haven't hit the wall hard enough yet. And don't wait, you see. There's two ways to do it. We can do this the hard way, we can do this the easy way. The relatively easy way, actually it's maybe the other way around. The hard way is to do it, is to try to convince you that eventually you will hit the wall. You see? But, you know, maybe you can work on this. If you haven't hit the wall hard enough yet, maybe you can work on this and say, are you immune? Am I immune from hitting the wall? Is it like, just happens to other people, disasters just happen to other people? Does the rug just get pulled out of other people's lives and that couldn't happen to me? Just figure it out theoretically. That's, I think, the harder way. The easier way is to have it happen. And then you're not like mistaken. You can't be like, oh, I don't know, maybe it will work out. Because you know it didn't work out. You are on the ground in a mess. And then, then maybe you're ready to start seriously looking for a teacher, for somebody who can help you. So that's the first thing, is that you've got to really want it. You have to really want a teacher. And you have to then start looking for a teacher. And then you have to find the right one for you. And that isn't it's very, very serious thing that you're doing, to put your life in the hands of a teacher. Because of this verse, in a way. Because you're going to be like them. See, that's the point of having a teacher, is that you become them. You start to look like them. You start to talk like them. You certainly try to start to think like them. And if you get the wrong one, well, you're going to think like them. You're going to be like, have this faulty version of a teacher brings a faulty version of you. So you have to find the right one for you, and they have to be perfect. They have to be as perfect as you can see them. You see, and then the whole point of working with the guru is to try and see them more and more perfect. But initially they have to look pretty good. You can't you could potentially start with anybody, but it helps a lot that they have at least a few good qualities that you can see. You see, a few good qualities, because those good qualities that you can see because they're in you. Somewhere already they're in you.